What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. And yeah, man, like I said, I'm gonna try to be consistent today. At first I was gonna do an audio only episode, but I was like, nah, I ain't finna do another audio only because I know a lot more people like seeing my face and stuff like that. Even though that requires me trying to look presentable on camera, and that's why I got the hoodie on today, because I'm just like, I ain't do my hair, but I still wanted to give y'all a video episode. And when I do this podcast, I gotta find time in between, like when people is at the house or either when I'm at my brother's. Like basically I have to plan ahead of recording so that I can try to do episodes while nobody's at the house or nothing like that, so nobody bothers me and stuff like that. Man, that's why I really want to get my own place so bad sometimes, because it's like, then I don't have to worry about nobody else. If I got my own crib, then I can literally do it whenever. I don't have to worry about anybody coming over and possibly messing up the recording process. If y'all, live with people and you guys do this YouTube stuff or just any entertainment thing, then y'all know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, I wanted to give y'all an episode for this week, a visual episode, because I know that's what people tend to like more. And yeah, usually I be filming in that desk back there. Like, I'm still in my basement. Usually I be filming at the desk, but I got something going on my computer right now. So I was like, let me just do a quick setup on the couch, And y'all know me. When I do my podcast, I don't like to be flashy. I don't like to do like a bunch of extra stuff. The podcast is more just, sit back, relax, listen to it, watch it if you want to. But like, the podcast is more just for sitting back, relaxing, and like, just giving y'all something to listen to. It ain't really something that I try to give the best visuals in the world for you guys. I mean, except for the 4K quality, because this shit is busting right now. I'm looking at it on my computer, and this quality is busting right now. But, besides like how the video looks, like, as far as like locations and all that, like I'm not too big on all of that. Like, this is just the podcast. Not saying that I don't value the podcast production, but it's just like, you guys know what I mean. But, yeah. Today I got a couple of topics, not too many topics, but I got a couple of topics. The very first topic, and this is one that everybody is talking about, so it should be no surprise that I'm about to talk about this. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Quiet on Set documentary that came out about Nickelodeon, and I'm going to give my whole thoughts on, everything that I can think of around the documentary, at this point. And so what that means is basically I'm going to have to talk about a lot of the messed up things that happened on the documentary and a lot of the things that they showed. So I am going to give a content warning, especially since sometimes when I do these podcast episodes, like I know I don't really be getting too many crazy views, but when I talk about topics like this or, at the most random moments, my videos do get pushed a lot more in the YouTube algorithm. So, in case this does get pushed more, I do want to, add a content warning, because it definitely has to do with a lot of disturbing things, particularly with minors. You could say like abuse and assault type thing. So basically, if you guys don't want to hear that, check out another video of mine. Don't continue to watch, because I am going to give my raw thoughts on everything that we saw. Or if you guys don't feel like hearing that, I usually leave timestamps for my next topic in the video, so you guys can click to the next topic. But pretty much with this Quiet on Set thing, I got a lot of things to say, especially since I am a up and coming director. I'm someone that, hopes, like I have a show idea with one of my friends that has to do with kids growing up. So that means like in the future, I would have to work with kids if we ever do the show. And I just have a lot of strong opinions on this whole Quiet on Set documentary, because, what they showed, it was fucked up. And like, especially me growing up watching a lot of those shows that they talked about, it hurt. Like it really did. So that's my final warning. If you guys are still here, then you guys are ready to talk about it. And Yeah, I'm about to get into my thoughts. So, if you guys don't know, this past week, ID and HBO Max released this documentary called Quiet on Set, where pretty much it talked about the toxic work environment for kids that was going on Dan Schneider's shows. Basically, the show chronicled like all of Dan Schneider's career from, I think, the first show he worked on Nickelodeon, I think the All That series, and then it went all the way up to they didn't, I don't think they really touched on Henry Danger and like more of his later shows like that, because that's kind of when the allegations were like starting to slow down and stuff. But basically, from everything I remember as far as allegations and, you know, things that happened on set wise, it started from All That and it went all the way up to the Victorious era. And basically some of the things that really messed me up, I'm just gonna say the things that fucked me up the most watching the documentary. So, you know, a lot of the information that we got in the show wasn't too new information. Like I said, I grew up on shows like Victorious, iCarly. I grew up on a lot of that stuff, so obviously I've heard the stories. My favorite Dan Schneider show was Zoe 101. So to hear the actress that plays Nicole, I think her name is Alexa Nicholas, I heard her stories over the years about how she was mistreated on Zoe 101, hence why she left the show halfway through the series. So that stuff, you know, it was messed up, but as far as the new information that fucked me up was some of the cast from the All That series was talking about their experiences. Like some of the black actors were saying that they felt like they were overlooked compared to their white actors to Dan Schneider. Apparently he used to have a bunch of massages while the show was going on, preferably from women on set. He always loved to get massages, which was very weird and made a lot of people uncomfortable on set. The kids on the All That series were put into a lot of uncomfortable positions where when we're kids, we're watching it and it's like, you know, when you watch it, it's almost like, wow, this looks fun. Like one thing they talked about was apparently there was like a skit on All That where like sugar and stuff was being stuffed into their faces. And as you're watching this as a kid, you're not really thinking about how dangerous that could be for a person to consume that amount of sugar and stuff like literally going all over their face. But as an adult, you look back at it and it's like, damn, like they really were putting these kids through the ringer. Even just like with the All That, I think they called it Double Dares or something like that. It was basically supposed to be like a kid version of Fear Factor. And they put the kids in a lot of compromising situations where they felt very uncomfortable or they felt unsafe. One of the actors talked about how one of the dares was that he had to get covered in peanut butter and dogs had to literally lick his whole body. But the thing is, I think he was into his underwear and he had to be licked completely off by dogs with all this peanut butter on his body. And like, you know, as a kid you don't really think too much of it, but it is very disturbing. And now this is the part that was completely new, nobody knew about it, and it's the part where if you guys watch Drake and Josh, there's a guy that worked behind the scenes named Brian Peck, and Brian Peck basically SA'd Drake Bell for most of the Drake and Josh. I think it was throughout most of the run of the show. I don't know if it was throughout the whole series or if it was through most of it, but he basically was essaying Drake Bell during the series. And, you know, it was a crazy thing because, like, I just got so many thoughts. I'm just trying to organize my thoughts because if you guys want to know my overall thoughts, because I got to break it down just like how I talked to my friend last night. Basically, first things first, this documentary, like the things that Dan Schneider did, or I'll say allegedly because I ain't trying to get sued. I don't know. I'm a small creator, so I don't know if he'll ever see this. But in the case that he does, I'm just going to say allegedly just to keep myself safe. But with the things that Dan Schneider allegedly did, first off, watching it really had me fucked up because I was like, yo, it is not hard to be a decent human being. Like, and I want you guys to watch the full documentary. I don't want to give a full summary of it. I do want y'all to watch it. But it's like hiring people that you know messes with children and you're just letting it slide. Being disrespectful to your writers, because just like I said last year during the writer's strike, you know, before directing, casting, all of that even comes into place. And I mean, I know TV shows are different because like it goes by season basis. So you guys already got the cast and everything, but basically what I'm saying is the writers are some of the most important people in a production. I would even say top 3 most important, because without them there is nothing to film. And for him to disrespect his writers, and even the guy that played Mark on Zoe 101 came out after the documentary and said that Dan Schneider would threaten his writers with shotguns and stuff like that if they came to his house. And it's just like, it is not hard to treat people with decency, Dan Schneider. It is not hard. Like, how are you disrespectful to your cast, crew, writers, and children of that? Like, you're going to be disrespectful to children and be horrible to children. And as far as the whole Brian Peck situation, Dan Schneider allegedly was trying to play it off like he didn't know what was going on with Brian Peck and Drake Bell. But it's like, I have a hard time believing that as someone as disturbing as you did not know about that. You knew about that. And the fact that you did nothing about it until shit hit the fan, it just got me messed up. And the whole Brian Peck thing. Now, this is where I also want to put blame on the parents. Now, shout out to Drake Bell's dad, because he knew what was up and he tried to warn other people. And even, I forget whose mom it was, but there was a mother of one of the cast members of All That who would also call out, you know, stuff going on the show. And you know what happens. Mouthing off parents, they basically either got rid of the kid or they got rid of the parent. And that's what happened in both those situations. But for most of these parents on the show, you guys saw what your kids was going through and you just let it slide. And it's so messed up how, like, you know, child actors go through stuff in Hollywood, partly because, you know, in a lot of cases the child actors are kind of like, you know, the breadwinners for the family. So in cases like that, the parents will let things slide because they know that the kid is the way that they make money. But it's just like, you know, I can get the hard situation that you find yourself in, but at the same time, one, as a parent, you should not just be relying on your kids solely for income. Like, even if your kid is a child star, you should get up and do something yourself too. Like, you know, and you know, basically, I do want to say this, like, I don't have no children, so I can't fully say, you know, everything about being a parent and stuff like that. And I don't even, and like I said, I don't have a kid, so I also don't know how it feels to have like a child actor. But all I know is if I was in that position where my kid is the breadwinner, I'm gonna feel less like an adult. I'm gonna go get out and, you know, try to get my own or try to do something for my family, because it should not rely just on your kid to get money. So that's already one thing. And the fact that you guys let a lot of this stuff slide, seeing what your kids was going through, and you just let it slide, like, that just also messed me up a lot. And oh God, I just remembered in episode 2, there was this one mom who found that an executive or somebody behind the scenes on a Nickelodeon show sent nudes to her daughter, and she really had the gall to say, I wanted to tell the police, but then what would the police think of me as a mother? Why the fuck are you worried about how you're viewed as a mother? Get this man away from your fucking kid. Like, this documentary made me so mad on so many levels. I'm mad at Dan Schneider. I'm mad at the parents, but I'm mad at Brian Peck. But I think the thing that people aren't saying enough, and, you know, like I said, this is personally what I've been seeing on the internet. One thing I haven't been seeing enough of a conversation of is we got to place a lot of blame on Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon, just like the parents saw the things that these kids were going through. They knew the dirty jokes that Dan Schneider was sneaking into his shows, and apparently he was even asked like about one dirty joke, and he was just trying to play it off like it was just something simple. And Nickelodeon, they knew damn well what he was really trying to say with that joke, but they just let it slide because Dan Schneider is their breadwinner. Dan Schneider was like making most of the popular live action Nickelodeon shows back in the day. If it wasn't Scott Fellows, then Dan Schneider was the one making the money. And it's just like, you know, I don't think people are blaming Nickelodeon enough, because it's like this is some scummy shit. And all in all, I just want to say, because you guys know, like I said before, I'm a up and coming director. I want to be in this entertainment industry, and you know, a lot of the thing, I do have a lot of opinions on, you know, corporations and people in this entertainment industry, that if I said anything about it, I feel like I would be blackballed, especially, you know, being a black man trying to get into the entertainment industry. You really got to be careful with a lot of the things you say. But one thing that I forget his name, the guy that plays Mark on Zoe 101, when he was speaking about it, he even said that he doesn't know if the video he made will mess up opportunities in his career. But what's the point of wanting that career if it's so corrupt and messed up like this? So all in all, I bring up this documentary, and I want to end this topic by saying, like, and I know this topic has kind of been me just rambling and bringing up different points, but all in all, I want more people to know about this documentary, because I'm not going to lie, man, as much as I want to be in this entertainment industry, it is clear to see that a lot of fucked up shit happens in this industry. And the only way to stop it from happening is to speak up about it, especially when it has to do with kids. And the crazy thing is, when I was talking to my boy last night about this, I told him, like, you know, it's fucked up, but this been going on for so damn long in Hollywood. I remember watching a bunch of videos on what Judy Garland went through, and Shirley Temple, and like all these actresses way back in the day, like back in my parents' time, probably even back in my grandparents' time, hearing stories about the things that they went through in the entertainment industry. And it's like, the way that people are treated, especially fucking kids, like kids in this industry, it's sad that it's not a safe place for kids. And it's like, you know, even when I was younger, I wanted to be a Nickelodeon Disney Channel kid. Like, I like to tell people all the time that I never wanted to be an actor, but I'm lying. When I was younger, before I even wanted to become a director and all that, I did want to become an actor, because I would see those kids on Nickelodeon and Disney living the best lives. Like, everything looked glamorous when we're watching it at home on a screen, but it's not until you look deeper into what's really happening that you see, like, this is just all smoke and mirrors. Like, this shit, it like I said, man, it's just fucked up, because not only should everybody be treated right in Hollywood, but I just have the biggest problem when it comes to kids being fucked with in Hollywood. And it messes me up a lot, because like I said, one day I hope to work with kids and make a show about kids growing up. But at the same time, I got a lot of younger family members, like my nieces and my nephews. When I hear about kids getting fucked with in the entertainment industry, I just be thinking, like, what if that was like any of my younger family members? So that's why, you know, despite me rambling and going on and bringing up different points, that's the whole point of me bringing up this documentary. I want to build more dialogue. And I mean, I know that's all everybody is talking about is this documentary, but we got to make sure this documentary is seen by more people than just people that was growing up watching Nickelodeon. Like, you know, even if you didn't grow up watching Disney Channel and Nickelodeon, I hope this documentary reaches you, because this is stuff that needs to be known. And for the last few years, I've been seeing a lot of people say that Hollywood is starting to be in shambles. You know, last year with the Hollywood strike, There's stuff going on with streaming services and stuff like that, and now now things coming to light about how children are even treated in Hollywood. It's like, people are saying that Hollywood is in shambles, Hollywood is going to fall apart, but maybe it needs to. Like, not completely, because this entertainment industry is still, an entertainment industry, but we need to do something about the powers that be, because we can't allow this fucked up shit to keep happening. So, like I said, I'm gonna end this topic off by saying this: if you guys never watched the documentary, go watch it now. Like, fuck my episode. Like, you can cut the episode off now and just go watch the documentary. If you guys, want to, I know this is about to sound corny as hell, sound like it's after school special, but if you guys want to make things better, make the world a better place, and try to get these nasty ass people out of power, and I'm not saying watching the documentary will get these nasty ass people out of power, but just to bring awareness and just to bring up more of a dialogue, I encourage y'all to watch this documentary, because it is something that sheds a lot to light. And it is sad that it's when I look back at it, I think the most fucked up thing is that Brian Peck still hasn't fully faced the consequences of what he did. From what I remember, he served his time and then he got back out and got instantly hired by Disney. Brian Peck never faced the full consequences, and Dan Schneider never faced the full consequences. Man got kicked off of Nickelodeon after all the success that he got. This man probably made enough money to where he doesn't have to even make another show again or even put his name on another credit. So it's fucked up that we're watching this documentary, and the sad thing is these guys essentially got away with it. They pretty much got away with it. And it hurts, man. It definitely hurts. But yeah, like I said, man, if you guys haven't checked out the documentary, go check that out. It is definitely eye-opening, and it is definitely something that we need to continue to talk about and bring more awareness to, because it's like stuff like this in the entertainment industry should not be happening. And like I said, man, it's just disappointing, because a lot of the stuff that was shown in the documentary shouldn't have even happened. Because even when I was talking about, and this is the last thing I'll say about this, and then I'll move on to the next topic, but even what my boy said, like I said, we were talking about the show concept that we had about kids growing up in the 2000s, and he was basically saying, like, when we do this show, we need to, set up mental health stuff for kids, work with the parents, work with like different groups, make sure the kids are taken care of, and basically that we put their needs first above all else. And I was like, I agree with you, but that's the fucked up thing about this whole situation. This shouldn't even have to be said. This should just be a given. You should just automatically want to do those things. This shouldn't even have to be rules established. Like, this is what should be going on. But it's sad in this entertainment industry and everything that we've been hearing. It's like you got to make rules just so people can act right, and it's messed up. So yeah, man, I'm gonna move on. But like I said, check out the Quiet on Set documentary and let me know if you guys watch it. Let me know how you feel down in the comments. And yeah. So the next topic that I have still is on, actually this whole episode is basically all about the entertainment industry pretty much. The next topic I have is 2024 has kind of been a slow year for film so far. And I know it's only like the third month of the year, and I know it's only March, but I don't know, man. I felt like 2023 was kind of a year where the movies was coming out swinging. Like, we got a lot of great films even at the beginning of 2023. I remember going to the theater, always walking out very happy with a lot of the movies that I've been seeing. And this year, it's almost like, movies will come out here and there, but there's just a lot of movies that just hasn't really been that great to me. My last few visits to the movies, yesterday I saw Immaculate starring Sydney Sweeney. Very fucking weird movie, but I enjoyed it. I recently saw One Love, the Bob Marley film. My dad is like a big Bob Marley fan. So when he saw that the movie was coming out, he was instantly like, Tevin, we're going to go see that movie, because he knows I'm a movie person. So he was like, Tevin, we're going to go see that movie. And ultimately, I thought it was a cool movie. Like, I would give it like a 7, probably 6.5 out of 10, just because, for one, I'm not the biggest Bob Marley fan. It's not that I don't like his music. It's just I never really checked it out, or I guess I wasn't really that compelled to check it out if I never checked it out at this point. But, I went to go see it because he really wanted to see it. And, it was a cool movie. I think my biggest problem with the movie was that it was just a typical biopic. And, it didn't really do nothing too special. I learned a little bit about Bob Marley, but I wouldn't say I learned a lot. And for the most part, it did feel like a typical biopic. So yeah, Bob Marley, One Love. I saw Blumhouse's Imaginary, which that movie was actually horrible. And I think I would actually put it lower than, Madam Web, because at least with Madam Web I can sit back and laugh about it, but Imaginary, there was just nothing to laugh about. Like, that movie was just straight up bad. And I think I already talked about the other movies I saw this year, like Drive Away Dolls. I think I talked about Madam Web with y'all already. So yeah, man, this year just kind of hasn't really been too special as far as film. If anything, it seems like TV shows seem to be the thing this year that seems to be making a lot of buzz. The Avatar: The Last Airbender series. I know I said I would talk to y'all about it on my channel, but I actually do have a video with my friend Michael talking about it, so I'll probably link that down below. Like I just finished talking about, the Quiet on Set documentary is one that a lot of people are talking about. I think a Freaknik docu-series just came out, and Power and BMF. Like, it seems like TV shows are more where it's at this year, and film is just kind of taking a back seat. And a lot of older movies are getting re-released. Next month, Shrek 2 is supposed to get its 20th anniversary being released, so I bought my ticket for that already. The Spider-Man movies, like from Tobey Maguire all the way to Tom Holland's, is going to be re-released in theaters, which we all know that's really just Sony trying to make back their money that they lost from Madam Web. But, pretty much, movies is just kind of slow this year. Like, I'm just hoping that things pick up. There is some movies that came out this weekend, like A Late Night with the Devil, that I am interested in seeing. I'm not gonna fucking watch Ghostbusters. I'm not really interested in Ghostbusters, and I really don't know anybody else that's interested in Ghostbusters. So, nah, I'm not really with that one. I mean, if one of my friends or if a shorty want to go see Ghostbusters or something like that, then I'll go check it out. But it's not really something that I'm gonna go myself to see. But yeah, man, how do y'all feel about how film is going this year? Because truth be told, I'm not really too impressed. Not really too many big releases, and I'm not really talking about streaming wise, because I don't really watch a lot of streaming movies. I watch some, but just not too many. But as far as like going to the theater and seeing a movie, how do y'all feel about, movies coming to theater in 2024? Because right now it's not really looking too good, Chief. Really not looking too good. And the final topic that I have for this week's episode is, now, you guys know I like to talk about some niche things that are going on with me. And one thing that I've been getting into a lot recently is physical media collection. I've been collecting a lot of Blu-rays and some of my favorite movies recently. So I want to give y'all like a quick little backstory on that. So for me, I'm someone where, or I should say back then, I was someone where I would hear, obviously, me being in film and stuff like that, I would always hear the debate of physical versus digital media. And in a lot of cases back then, I didn't give a damn about buying movies and shows and stuff like that on digital. I even got a PS5, the all digital version. When I used to buy movies, I would just buy my movies straight up digital. Rarely would I buy physical releases. Like, the only time I would buy something physically is if I really loved the movie, or either it wasn't on any streaming service but they had like it on physical. So, you know, that was the only times I would do it back in the day. But over the years, I started to see more of the benefit of getting movies and shows and buying stuff physically, because, you know, for one, in the physical media space, I've always heard people say, like, you never really own your movies, like, or in the digital media space, they always say you never really own your movies. You're just paying for a long license and stuff like that. And I never really cared until the case of, so one movie that I love is The Outsiders, the movie based on, I think the author's name is S.E. Hinton, but The Outsiders is one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite books. And basically, recently, they came out with a new version of The Outsiders on digital, and it just automatically updated the movie. Now, granted, the update wasn't too bad, but it kind of started to get in my head, like, okay, like, they just updated this movie showing that, because at one point I was always thinking, like, oh, them messing with your digital purchases can't happen to me. Like, it can't happen to me. And when The Outsiders changed, yeah, I finally started to see that it could happen to me. Another thing that also got me into physical media is also having to do with changes, and this isn't really film related, but just to know that this could happen. YG's My Crazy Life, that's one of my favorite albums of all time, a classic rap album in my opinion. And years ago there was a controversy going on with My Crazy Life, where a song called Meet the Flockers basically had to have a lyric removed. And I'm not going to fully go into, you know, the politics of that lyric and stuff like that. But for the longest, nobody really had much of an issue with the lyric until a couple years ago. The album came out in 2020. No, the album came out in 2014, and they changed it in 2020. For 6 years, nobody has ever had a problem with the lyric until times change. Now, when I say nobody had a problem with it, I'm not saying that I agree or all of that with his lyrics or anything like that. I'm not saying none of my personal opinions on it. But what I am saying is it did get into my head that, like, you know, a movie, a song, anything can change. Even with my digital PS5, there's games that I still have downloaded on my PS5 because I know that if I delete it, I'm never able to download it again. They completely got it off the Sony store, and it's like, dang, I'm really watching, like, in real time, these arguments that people had about buying digital media. I didn't used to care, but now I'm watching in real time things change, things get deleted, and things just basically become lost media. And that made me you know, push myself more to, like, all right, like, now I'm gonna start buying things physically. So I started collecting movies physically. Sadly, I already bought the digital PS5, so I can't change nothing about that. Apparently Sony is having an external disk drive, but apparently that only works with the newer PS5s. I still have the original PS5 model, so, you know, unless they've updated to where it can work with the older models, basically I'm just stuck buying games digitally. But if they do come out with a working disc drive, then I will start buying games physically. When the PS6 comes out, if they give a physical media option, I will definitely start doing that, because now I do see the importance of owning things physically. And I actually have some reasons right here for why I think personally it is better to own things physically. Now, I know the whole conversation of digital and physical media, it really is up to the person. And I know that owning things physically is more of a niche. Like, if I talk to other people about it, they're probably going to say, like, Tevin, you're just wasting your time. Things are on streaming services and stuff like that. But I have my reasons for wanting to own things physically, and here's some of my reasons. For one, streaming services are starting to cost too fucking much. Streaming services, there is so many services, and that means there's so many damn licenses. And one of my problem with streaming services is I'm someone, like I said, I love film, and a lot of times I love film series. And it annoys me how you basically have to sign up for so many streaming services in order to watch one film series. Like, maybe the first movie of a series is on Netflix, but then you got to go to Paramount Plus to watch another movie in the series, or you have to get Peacock to watch the last two movies in the series. Like, it is just very annoying having to keep up with all these services in order to watch the movie that I want to watch. And when you have the set on Blu-ray, I mean, you don't have to subscribe to no service. You can literally just pop it into a DVD player and watch it. And that's another benefit. When you watch it on a DVD player, you're getting the better quality. I didn't used to care about the quality between physically and digital media. I didn't used to care about the quality of it until I started buying more of them and I started to see the difference. One movie that I saw a big difference in is the movie Juice, starring Tupac. The first few times I've ever seen Juice, actually up to the point until I bought it on Blu-ray recently, I've only watched it on streaming. I never actually seen it like on a physical copy or nothing like that. I've always watched the movie streaming. But when I bought the Blu-ray, and I buy from Amazon, and sometimes Amazon got resellers and stuff like that. So when I bought the movie on Blu-ray, I always like to test out my movies on my Blu-ray player. And basically, when I bought it on Blu-ray and I put it in, the movie looked so much better than I've ever seen it before on streaming. And maybe that's because, like, companies, they like to update the movie for physical media releases. I know that I recently bought the Halloween 4K remaster, and basically the movie does look way better than any digital version that I got because they rescanned the original film to make it up to 4K standards. But that's besides the point. Whole point is you're gonna get a better quality whether you really see it or not. Trust me, you are getting better quality when you watch it on disc. The other reason I already stated with, like, how companies can update and change movies over time. And also, I guess the last thing that I really love collecting movies for is because now that everybody has kind of moved on to digital and wanting streaming services, collecting physical movies is kind of more of a niche. And I like that niche because now companies go out their way to make very special editions of movies. One thing I like to get is steelbook covers for movies, or special edition versions of movies. Like, upstairs in my room, I do have a little like stand with all my physical media movies and stuff like that. And I have Spirited Away. I have Kiki's Delivery Service, basically Studio Ghibli movies, because recently Shout Factory, good company if you collect physical media, but Shout Factory recently released steelbook versions of those movies that has special cases and has a lot of special features on the disc and stuff like that. So that's one cool thing. They also released a Coraline one that I plan on getting soon, but basically now that it's a niche, companies go out their way to do special things for physical releases. The Criterion Collection is another company that does a lot of special things for the physical releases. Like, yesterday, I just got the Uncut Gems physical release from the Criterion Collection, and that comes with, like, special things that is associated with the movie. Like, for example, if you guys know what Uncut Gems is, it's basically about a New York jeweler, and basically when you get the Criterion Collection version, They have a special case and special disc for like the it's basically designed like the opal in the movie, but then also it comes with like a pamphlet where it's like a fake pamphlet for the things you can get from Howard's shop in Uncut Gems. So it has like a listing of the different jewels. It has pictures of Howard, really Adam Sandler, but they photoshopped him to look like his character in the movie. They photoshopped pictures of Howard with the celebrities that he apparently sold jewelry to. So it is just special things like that that companies do now because physical media is kind of starting to be the more unpopular thing. So pretty much that's all my reasons, but I think the main reason why I really got into physical media is because of streaming, is because like I really rather just keep a few streaming services and just buy my movies outright and not have to pay for more streaming services. Cuz when I really look back at it, I used to pay for all the streaming services with like no ads and stuff like that, and I saw that I was paying more than cable. I was paying actually way more than cable, getting all these streaming services and paying for the ad-free options. So recently, now that I've been buying movies and now that I've been, well, I won't say what else I've been doing, but basically now that I've been acquiring these movies without these streaming services, I've been canceling some of them and I've been only keeping the ones that I actually do straight up watch. Cause before I was paying for Peacock, but I don't even watch Peacock like that. I only watch it like for certain things. And with that, I'm like, I can just buy those things on Blu-ray and just keep it moving. The next one I'm probably going to get rid of is Disney Plus. Like, I am a Disney kid. I love Disney, but truth be told, Disney Plus, I can live without it. Like, that's more of a nostalgic streaming service. I can just buy the shows that I go back to watch a lot on Disney Plus and then just keep it moving. Like, I can just keep the other ones. So my ultimate plan is I'm still going to keep HBO Max, Paramount Plus, and Hulu. Those are the main three. I know a lot of people talk shit about Hulu, but I love Hulu. It got a lot of shows that I watch on there. Those three are the main three that I watch, and everything else getting canceled. As far as Netflix, I still live with my mom, so I use my mom's account. But when I do move out, I still don't even see myself getting Netflix. Like, I can still see myself just buying the shows and movies that I like on Netflix on DVD and just, keeping it pushing. So, yeah. Let me know down below, how do y'all feel about physical media? Do you guys have the same reasons that I do? Do you guys feel like I'm fucking tripping? Like, just tell me how you feel about that. But yeah, man. This episode really wasn't planning on having it be that long because, bunch of different stuff. But I'll say this. There is something special that's going to happen once I say that I'm signing out. I'll probably explain it in my next episode, but I just want to give the announcement because, this is something special. I did already tease on all my social medias that I am going to be announcing something today. And for anybody that's watching the podcast, you guys will be the first to know about this announcement. So stay tuned after I say signing out, and you guys will be in for a treat. But, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Let me know how y'all felt. And, I'll see y'all in the next one. But like I said, stay tuned for that announcement. But, all right, y'all. With all that being said, Tevin Jameer, signing out.